Right. Judd'z Budz, episode 122. As always, your rattled host, Spoke Z, joined by my good buddy, Mr. Athlete of Hoppy. Hoppy, how we doing?
Scrambling.
Yeah. Yep.
Just got done mowing the lawn just in time and then cleaning up a bunch of shit that needed to be cleaned up. And then had to scramble last minute to even get the post up for this episode because, fun story, finally, after a year and a half of the T-shirt hackers winning, we finally got the account suspended, the former @the Sota Pod handle. And then, in just the most funny way possible, @Sota Pod, the new account, got suspended as well. Because, and it said this specifically, we violated their terms of use by trying to avoid a suspension by creating a duplicate account. Even though the account was created a year and a half ago, and it clearly states on the first line, do not follow @the Sota Pod. They are hackers. So, like, we'll see what happens here. I'm not sure what's going to come of it. But I don't know. Like, I guess I'm mad about it, but it's actually way more funny to me than I am mad. And maybe that's just my delirium right now. And I don't know. The beer is going to either help or hurt that. What sucks about your life?
Well, we said this is going to be a quick episode, so we don't have enough time to dive into all of that. You'll notice the screen behind me is blurred. So this past weekend or whatever, I guess this drops on Friday, so I might as well just say last weekend. I spent the entire Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, pretty much reorganizing / kind of almost construction with the amount of shit I had to do around the apartment, but specifically the most painstaking work that I had to do was in my room specifically. So when I moved into this apartment, this bed frame thing, it's kind of like a fucking Murphy thing. It is, and so apparently it's one of my roommates. She was here when they put it, they built it. This thing, it was clearly built, set up by possibly 5 people. And I was by myself, basically with a fucking screwdriver. I thought I was going to bleed out. I was bleeding from taking it apart. Long story short, it worked. And it's shocking how much bigger my room is now that I took down the bed part of it, the bed frame part of it. Cause I wanted half of it to stay because it serves as a really good, bureau. So I don't have a full bureau in my room. It's literally just bolted to the wall. And just,
what?
belts.
What'd you call it?
Bureau.
I'm not even sure what that means in reference to a bedroom.
Oh, dresser.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I'm sure. I don't know. Cause when you when you go on the old wayfair.com, no free ads. I think they call it dressers, but okay. I don't know. I go back and forth.
I'm not challenging it. I'm not coming at you for it. I've just genuinely never heard it referred to as that. So now I know.
Yeah. No, I'm just worldly, so I tap into the French a little bit. You know, I was watching a lot of Isha's favorite league this year, the QMJHL. So, but that part stayed, so that's good. But I took down this massive part that would go around the bed or whatever. And again, I think I added an insane amount of space to my bedroom. And I moved, everything is now at a different spot. And you would notice how different my background is. The Brodeen jersey is still just barely top corner over here.
Oh, yeah.
But I was not able to put stuff on that wall so that, it looked similar, or the hockey jerseys over there. because I am also watching my roommate's cat, who, when he's not being an absolute devil child, is actually hilarious and very funny and like just fun to hang out with.
Wait, was that like? Did you make a joke there?
Mm-mm.
Is that like the equivalent of like in Waterboy when he's like, "I'll have a scotch and water, hold the scotch." Like cats are never not satanic devil creatures.
No, okay. So I guess he's the stereotypical cat, but like, it's like all day. So I also moved my work computer desk setup thing into the living room, so it's not my room anymore, which added even more space. And I was working out there all day, knowing that I was like, "Fuck me, I'm gonna have to like get up every 15 minutes." Like, where the fuck is that cat? And he was great all day, but he does this thing at night where he knows everywhere where he's not supposed to be, everything he's not supposed to fuck with, and he immediately goes to those areas, fucks with everything he's not supposed to fuck with, and stares at me while he's doing it. So we're like boys all day, and then by like 6:30, 7 o'clock, until I go to bed, we're bickering, we're fighting. I'm like yelling at him. Like, it's like my other roommate came home as we're in the entryway of our apartment. He's sitting down yelling at me, and I'm like standing over him, fucking like pointing at him and yelling at him like, "You son of a bitch!" And she's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I can actually like picture this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But he will not let me hang anything, and he also will not let me see how in the blurriness one of the blinds is like pretty fucked up. Yeah, that was him. He does not like that specific blind to be closed. So if I close it, he leaped to the top. Again, it shocks me how high cats can jump. Every time it throws me off. I'm like, holy fuck, that's impressive. He just like rips it, and he destroyed it. And then I put one hockey jersey up over the window, and he jumped up and ripped that down. And then just like started running around the room. He did a backflip, which I was like, okay, now I'm not mad at you, but I'm mad at you again. That was sick. Like, fuck you too. Anyways, so that was like an hour of, I actually had time because I was remote today. I actually had time to put some, strategy or just like any type of like, just like mental focus into what we would talk about today. And he robbed me of that because it was pretty much me chasing him around the apartment, like yelling at him, him like bolting everywhere. I can't get him into that room. I finally did right before we started. That was not fun. He bit me 3 times. He's a devil, but he's also hilarious. So it's pretty conflicting, but like we're buddies from like 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. And then after that, we are, I guess, kind of like your buddies from childhood, where it's like, yeah, like when we're arguing, it gets like, this feels weird for everybody else, but at the same time, he's hilarious. I do love the guy, but my God, can he be a real piece of shit? Just like any one of my buddies, anyways. So the cat really is fucking me up.
It's one of the guys, yeah. I mean,
like that wiped my hard drive before. Like I don't even. You have to keep us on the rails most of the time anyways.
That I expected it anyways. And Isha's got this nailed. Dogs, you feed me, you love me, you are God. Cats, you feed me, you love me, I must be God.
Yeah, he knows. He's aware.
You're really messing with Trav here, and I can actually support it. Just coming in and seeing that blurry background. And by the way, I can tell that there is a light source in there. It is not flickering. So I'm concerned that like the cat did something to confiscate your candles, or I don't know what happened.
No, I got this is I can now that he's not in here, oh God, I'm gonna look like a fucking serial killer with the background, but let me unblur.
There we go.
Let's see how long it takes where I fuck this up and end up like somehow ending the stream on accident. There you go. So see that thing, the light source over there? It's a fake candle. It's what are they called? I don't remember what they're called, but I leave it on when I leave because it's obviously not a real flame. but it lights up the room enough and it smells good. So it's basically a candle that I can leave on when I'm not home.
Wait, it smells good?
Oh yeah. It's literally a candle that heats up because of the light instead of actual flame. So that's what's going on over here. Look at the fucking blind. That was all hit. Like it doesn't even look that bad, but like, and you can see like some of the shit. Oh God, I can't. I have. You know what? Trav's one of 7 people in here. I'll not make it blurry again. I can't stand that.
There.
It looks terrible.
He's got
My God, it is horrible looking. Let me just. There we go. Let's get Brodeen back in there a little bit. There we go.
All right. Well, first hockey topic here.
All right.
And I know this is one that you said that you've been off the grid pretty much all summer, so you probably haven't heard of this, which is why I'm bringing it up mostly. This is our chance to catch up and me fill you in.
I did look at the outline. I do know what you're about to say. I know very little about it. So, yeah.
So, weeks, months, I'm not sure what it was ago, rumors started spiraling of a startup hockey league called MLH, Major League Hockey, that was supposedly Saudi-backed and was going to like have salary caps of like $30 million per team with only like 10 to 15 players on a team. They were going to be poaching like good AHL players, kids from Europe, getting kids to leave college, whatever. And I think it was Steve Dangle basically came out and like he had heard of it from a credible source and then went out and started talking about it. And all the players like started asking about it. Like they were reaching out to Steve directly and being like, yo, like who do I reach out to about this? Because this sounds pretty sweet. And then he found out like a week and a half later that like it was kind of sketchy and maybe like wasn't super valid. And it was one of those things where you can't put the genie back in the bottle, right? The players like fear that they can go and make like big time money compared to like if you're playing in the like AHL, ECHL, you're making 5 figures. Whereas this was a chance to make like 750,000, which is a big deal. And so he tried to talk them out of it. They're like, nah, I want to look into this more. And it just got sketchier and sketchier as it went. Like it was basically a real life, like, I guess it was real life. So that was a weird way to put it. But it was a hockey fire fest where like everyone showed up for the music festival and like just it didn't exist. There was like tents. There was no luxury island. There were no bands. There were just stages that were kind of set up. And it was a shyster behind it. And that's basically what it was for this league. Like even like apparently a notable GM from the past who they haven't disclosed yet, like was a consultant for like getting this league started and has not been paid and is apparently suing the shit out of them. Like it's some guy, I can't even remember. I think it's, nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to grasp at straws, but there's a guy that apparently has like claimed to have stake in different teams and like is kind of the guy that's just spoken himself into existence. Kind of like the Islanders guy that like bought the team, remember? Quote unquote, like almost got away with it, even though he had 0 money to his name. This sounds like kind of the same type of shyster ordeal. And I don't know. It's just crazy to me that there are players that like actually passed on signing deals in Sweden, could have made like 250, 300K, tried to go into this league that no longer exists and their spots are filled and now they're like fucked. Like it just sucks.
Okay. I remember the start of this because like obviously like Dangle tweeted about it and then it went crazy. I didn't know that much was going on in the background. It's very funny in my head that like Dangle probably was like, yep, got this scoop. And then immediately was like, oh no. Cause I remember him like having a backtrack, but now it's even funnier in my head knowing that behind the scenes, he's like, no, man, like that's not worth it.
No, like he is borderline traumatized that this happened. I listened to one of like the episodes on his new network recently, and he basically said like, I feel terrible. Like, yeah, you feel dumb when you get like a scoop wrong and like people dunk on you, like whatever. I can handle that. I got thick skin. But when I'm like potentially fucking up people's lives, I feel awful. And the second he learned anything, he said, like, I reached out to every single person that had talked to me and told them right away, like, this is sketchy. Like, you need to look into it more or just completely back out. And he said, like, 90% of the guys were like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to look into this more. Like, not in like, I want to figure out what's going on, more like, no, dude, I'm pretty interested in this. Like, thanks though.
And you know what? Like, realistically, like, I'm sure, like you said, like, Dangle obviously is going to feel fucking horrible about this.
Yeah.
Same time, dude, like, he's not an insider. Should he have, like, gone? I'm sure he, again, like, good scoop, like, good source, whatever. Same time, like, these motherfuckers have agents. Like,
that's a fun part, Z. Apparently they were told not to get their agents involved.
There you go. Like,
once they got in touch with, like, the league, you know, like, it's like
at that point, I'm like, okay,
your red flag. Like, what?
Like, you're a dumbass if you go that far, and you're like, okay, I guess I will not tell the agent that's responsible for getting me, like, pretty much all of my deals anywhere.
And granted, I don't know that all of them, like, bought in. Like, that might have been the point where some of them are like, okay, maybe not. But
yeah, so at that point, that's where I'm like, listen, there's plenty of shit to dunk on, like, Steve Dangle about, but, like, that's where I'm like, okay, like, what's he really at fault for? Running with a bad scoop. That's it. Anyone that actually, if you're a fucking pro hockey player and you saw this on Twitter and you immediately go to him and then you, like, get in touch with this fucking league, they tell you don't tell your agent about this.
I'm sure
at that point, and I get it, and I get the appeal. So I could play pro hockey. I could play pro hockey and, like, not make ECHL money. Like, yeah, that's gonna be appealing. At some point, the red flags, if that's not making you like, oh, this might be bullshit. And, like, yes, I know, I get that they're savvy, but at the same time, like, bro,
like, these guys that have convinced. So basically, another thing that came out in the podcast was, like, this guy that's at the top of it. And again, I'm spacing on the name. I'm not going to grasp at straws and try and remember which one it was. Basically,
Stan Bowman. Shit. Oops, sorry.
He is an alleged billionaire, and someone that was, like, a really, really good, that GM, basically, right? The one that we don't know the name. He talked to one of the guys from The Athletic for, like, a story, and he basically said, like, oh, billionaire? I don't even know that he's millionaire. So, like, this is a guy that if he's got a lot of people convinced that he's a billionaire, he can probably talk his way around, like, hey, yeah, agents will come in eventually, but right now we're working through this, whatever. Like, I'm sure it was, like, a very savvy delivery. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's just like, oh, no, agents. No. Don't bring agents. You don't need them. Like,
yeah.
Smart guy.
I should rephrase. I still have sympathy for anyone who legitimately gets conned or whatever. My whole thing was, like, anyone that, like, yeah, again, Steve Dangle, clearly, like, he is he's a Leaf guy on Twitter, so he's going to be, like, annoying or whatever. But, like, he's a good dude. And, like, my whole thing is, at no point should I be like, you son of a bitch, Steve. No, like, that's not his fault, dude.
No. And I don't think people are mad at him, but, like, still, if I was in Dangle's shoes, like, I would be terrible, dude. You know, like, I get it.
Yeah.
And so, Isha, you didn't listen very closely. Saudis do have the money. There is no Saudi tie to this. That was a rumor that came up from, like, people commenting online. There were no Saudis. It's just a guy and, like, his son who have, like, convinced people in the hockey world that they have money, and all of a sudden they had this league. And again, they had, like, a former GM in the NHL convinced that this is a real league and that they were going to pay him as a consultant, and now he's suing them. So, like,
and now he's GM of the Edmonton Oilers.
And that's an incredible transition. Well done, Z. I don't think you've ever had a transition that good. Holy crap.
Fuck all
end the episode with just the fact that Stan Bowman is now the acting GM of the Edmonton Oilers. Wow, that was good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm impressed. I love that.
Fuck him.
Oh my god. Yeah, he sucks. I mean, aside from all of the scumbaggery, and we don't need to dredge that back up, like you guys could have listened to many episodes throughout the Sota Pod's history to know how scummy the Chicago Blackhawks organization is and how poorly they handled the Kyle Beach situation. And the fact that their negligence led to a fucking minor being sexually assaulted after the fact because the whole organization signed off and gave him like a glowing referral to go work in Michigan. Fuck you, Chicago Blackhawks. Let's say none of that happened. Why the fuck do you want Stan Bowman to be your GM?
This is what I keep going back to. Like, I do get really annoyed I get annoyed when some coach that's been around for a while, maybe out of the game for a while, but then gets rehired, or same thing with like a GM or whatever, or like I get annoyed when the conversation like, oh, typical NHL like retread, but I get annoyed with like the ultra hardcore I watch hockey, but like my whole personality is hating everyone in hockey. Like I hate like that reaction to me legitimately has driven me up a wall so hard that's basically at this point why I just like I can't really mute any more words on Twitter that will like let me see hockey. Any like you know what I mean? If I mute any other words, like it'll be like, okay, what the fuck do you even have this app for?
Z only sees Pokemon tweets.
Yeah, exactly. This one is legit. This one is there is absolutely no reason that like there are thousands of candidates, tens of thousands, probably realistically. It would have been a better like. There's just no fucking reason. Like I don't get it, man.
Hiring Joel Quenneville, again, say what you will about the situation, makes sense on paper. He is a good fucking coach. Stan Bowman has not shown me that he is a capable GM. I'm sorry. Yeah. I like, it's like, and I mean, and especially when you look at Edmonton right now, like, I think there was once people got over the fact that it was like, it's fun to dunk on like any team from Canada not winning a Stanley Cup. I feel like with how electric that cup run was, like even the most hardcore haters were like, it would be sick. Like the fuck, like how the pandemonium that would come from the Edmonton Oilers erasing a 3-0 deficit and then winning a Stanley Cup. Like the vibes, they had a pretty good fucking start to their like free agency, or I liked what they did at free, like everything was like going well. And then it's like, all right, let's go get this GM who it's going to be an absolute fucking PR nightmare. Everyone's going to hate us again. By the way, he hasn't really been a GM in the league in a while because of good reasons. Oh, and by the way, the last like 3 or 4 years of him being a GM, that team fucking sucked. Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. Leon Draisaitl said the only way that he will sign long-term in Edmonton is if they bring in a guy like Stan Bowman to basically be the lightning rod to take all criticism that makes zero sense away from Leon Draisaitl. Never has to talk to Jim Matheson again.
Fair enough. Enough.
It makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah. Or if you don't. But
I was going to say, if you don't, it makes a lot more sense. But
yeah. It's just like this is where I'm like, God damn it. Now you just get like, this is when it's like, all right, well, these people have a fucking point. Like, and the fact that in this goddamn fucking press conference or whatever, that was it Stan Bowman that literally brought up like culture. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I also love
how even use the word culture.
But the best part is people like, I think it was actually, I saw Brett maybe say something about this, and it was actually like a funny, cheeky comment, but like it was hockey culture. It's like, well, Stan Bowman definitely knows hockey culture.
That's where I was trying to remember if it was just the word culture, or if he actually did say hockey culture. It's like,
he said hockey culture.
At no point do I ever hear the phrase hockey culture, and like I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like anytime a GM or a coach says it, like having nothing to do with anything bad. I'm like, oh God, someone like here comes Twitter to the rescue to like make sure that everyone knows that this Twitter user is a good person. But like, bro, really? Your first big media availability since like, because realistically, he's been like people just hear his name. He hasn't been obviously in the public light whatsoever. First fucking media thing. You use the phrase hockey culture.
Yeah, that's
where it's like,
tough.
oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, no, this is good. We're definitely making big strides here, and like, you know, making sure that people know that oh no, we're not all pieces of shit, whatever. Mm-hmm. And like again, I am very against all of the hardcore like anti-hockey people. Like it just drives me crazy. But I'm like, great. Well, you know what? They have a fucking point now because it's like, here we go. Like, and I'm like, you know what? This is a necessary voice now because like this shit happens. And it's like, are we fucking kidding me? Like, what? Just let Dave Jackson, like, let him keep going.
Jeff Jackson.
Did I say Dave?
Yeah, you did.
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it. Fuck me.
That's great. But no, Jeff Jackson has been tearing it up. And in defense, for a second before I pivot to this being an absolute joke, he does not want to be the GM. He does not want to be the guy that's running all this. Yeah. But so why do you bring in Stan Bowman, who's a lightning rod of negativity for your organization as a whole, when Jeff Jackson could just like kind of play puppet master in the background? And I mean, I'm sorry, I feel bad, but like the biggest beta in the NHL right now has to be Patrick Allvin. Like, find yourself a Patrick Allvin to staple to Jeff Jackson instead of this.
Do you know how often I forget that Patrick Allvin's technically the GM?
Is he though? Is he
I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm even doubting it. I don't know. I can't fucking tell. And like, you know what? We probably should have seen this coming specifically in Edmonton because they were like slowly being like, we don't really give a fuck about PR. When like Evander Kane, they signed him, but they go get the second the NHL's like Corey Perry, it's fine. Like they're like perfect. Fuck yeah, let's get that guy in here immediately. Fucking slowly progressing to fucking hiring Stan fucking Bowman back. I mean.
Like, Isha, I'm sorry, you're dumb. If you actually think that Patrick Allvin makes any single decision for this organization, you're dumber.
Well, no, I'm glad I know. I'm glad I know now. I'm glad I have one source that is pretty sure that Patrick Allvin is indeed the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. But
can Isha spell Patrick Allvin? We don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. But like, God, like I saw this update and I was just like,
it's been rumored for a while though. So like I was braced for it. It's just like, why is this the move? It makes no sense to me. No one will explain it in a way that makes sense. And if they do, I will aggressively apologize, but I cannot for the life of me come up with a way.
Yeah. And again, like at the fact it will shock me forever that he actually in his first media availability used the phrase hockey culture. And then someone asks him about that victim, like the second case, fucking minor. And he goes, I don't want to look back in the past. Like, bro, you piece of shit. Like, you don't have a choice. You don't really get to choose whether or not that you reflect on any of this.
But no, he's had several conversations with Kyle Beach. He'll look back on that past, but the one that really fucking buries him. No, I don't
know
on the past. Also, fail, Isha. 0 out of 10 points for your attempt at Patrick Allvin. Bad. Yeah. He'll get there.
Way.
But yeah, it's nuts, dude.
It drives me crazy.
Yep.
Like I fucking who like you know what? Like I would really like to know. Actually, you know what? I don't really want to know who the fuck was pounding the table for Stan Bowman. Like who was like, yeah, like this is how we get over the hump. Like fucking fuck off. Like, whatever. It drives me crazy. We're again. Good thing I haven't planned on like really taking a deep dive on hockey Twitter because it's going to be terrible. I'm just waiting for all the articles to start fucking getting pumped out. And it's like, I don't really have anything to say because I'm like, you know what? fair enough. Like, fuck them. That's what it is. And of course, right in the middle of summer.
Oh,
it's like, guess what? We have nothing else to fucking talk about. It's like, God damn it.
Could have said something. Not going to. That was hard. Good. All right. Now, good news in the NHL in regards to hirings. Dean Evason to Columbus Blue Jackets. We've all formed our prayer circles. We've held up our Kirill Kaprizov Jesus candles, and it happened. He is officially with the Columbus Blue Jackets. We absolutely love that not only is Dean back in the league, but we got to start here, Z. Is Freddie Gaudreau going to play for the Columbus Blue Jackets this year?
He'll be the first ever player front office member at the same time. He will be
no
first line center and assistant GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the only thing he will do as a member of the front office, he will be playing 30 minutes a night minimum. He will get another 5-year deal, and somehow in year 1 of the contract that hasn't started yet, he'll sign another 5-year deal. He will be locked up for 15 years.
That'd be cool.
And
he's on the same time plan, DPHO plan.
At the same time, in the most Minnesota fashion possible, he will put up 80 points, 90 points a second. He goes there. He's going to be the best player on the planet. He's going to rip it up. And that's just how it's going to go. But no, shout out fucking Dean Evason. He's a good coach. I actually do. Again, especially like listening or just like reading the quotes from Don Waddell about why like Dean Evason was their guy, which as a side note, by the way, unbelievable that 3 weeks into Don Waddell technically being the guy that makes decisions, he's like, yeah, no, fuck our coach, fired. He's like, this guy sucks.
Hang on though. I love that he came out and said, Dean Evason's our guy. Here's why. After they fucking offered the job to someone else who said, no, never mind.
Yeah, no, and then when he said no, we said, thank God, because we have someone way better.
We were bluffing. Thank God he didn't sign.
Hey, can you hey, can you imagine if that piece of shit said yes? Thank God he didn't.
Like if he did though. Nailed it. Oh man.
But I love, and like it. I think we touched on this. Was it? Did we talk about it last week? Was that?
The summer melts together. It could have been 2 months ago. It could have been 2 days ago.
Listen, my desk is touching a different wall in my room right now, so I have no idea if that was last week, last year. Couldn't tell you. But like, I think one of the things we brought up was like, what does like the fan base in Columbus absolutely rabid? Some of the most passionate fans through a dog shit organization historically, not shitting on like very much pro fan. Pro hockey like phenomenal market. Like the loyalty and the passion they bring is awesome. And I love that like one of the things that like Don Waddell brings up is just like the one thing that Dean brings to the table that we desperately needed is passion behind the bench. And it's like, oh, they're gonna fucking love this guy. They are going to love it. He is gonna be the one ripping the cannon. He will be the one.
That's so perfect because that even ties in better. I was going to say it's going to be like semi-pro. Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. The cannon's a relic. We're going to fire it off anyway, but he's going to be the one that they're going to bring in like in between second and third intermission instead of the whole like, oh, shoot the puck or, oh, let's do the sled race. Nah, Dean Evason is going to wrestle a live bear. Go steal $20, $25 out of mommy and daddy's purse. You're going to come down to the Coliseum, Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl.
And the Bears' name is not Dewey.
No.
It's not Dewey. It's Rick Bonus. And it's going to be, he's going to kick the shit out of this bear.
No. It's Darby.
Darby's his handler. Darby's the handler.
Oh, hang on.
There you go.
What would the safe word be instead of Spumoni? What is Dean Evason's safe word?
Fuck. Well, maybe.
That's a good one.
That actually might be it. That might be it.
No, he'd say that right away. Fuck you, Bear.
No, part of him is debating game 1 at like first intermission. He's like, we're gonna fucking fire that cannon off with a real cannonball. I'm gonna be tarps off, and that I'm just gonna eat it to my stomach, and he's gonna get the crowd going. It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be awesome.
Dean Evison fighting a live bear. Actually, even better. We're gonna spin it to the more traditional Dean Evison comparison. Everyone knows, looks just like Creed Bratton from The Office. We'll talk about the fit because I do think it makes a ton of sense for Columbus, but he's going to walk in there and he's going to have a pretty youthful group. He's going to have a lot of kids he's looking at. What if he goes full Creed Bratton, dyes his hair jet black? Hey, anybody got Red Bull? Guys, just got Red Bull. Good. You know what I mean? Later skating.
That's so good.
Like if he comes in, if he dyed his hair black, he'd be my favorite person in history. Like
he just goes, I'm 30. Well, in November, I'll be 30. It's so good.
Oh, yes.
But like, one of my favorite, by the way, now that the Sota Pod Twitter thing has been removed or whatever, no bots. We are half of the people here. But
no, we're a third. Doesn't register us.
Whatever. It's funnier if it's half. But one of my favorite things is like just grabbing, like when a coach gets hired and you just like grab some of the quotes from the guy and like throw that out there. I really enjoyed going through like what Dean was saying. And it like specifically, I cut out the first part of the quote and it just says, I don't know exactly what's in the room. I'm like, this guy was like, yup, I am going to coach the fuck out of this team. And he goes, from the outside looking in, it's fantastic. I'm like,
Did you see the presser comment that I like reshared on Twitter where they asked him like, so like extra juice, are you fired up at all to be playing the Wild for your like the opener of the season? He's like, you know what? I hate that coaches come out here and lie to you and say, oh, no, it doesn't matter. It's just another game. Yeah, I care. They just fired me. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm like,
I love that.
I love it.
And like, you know, sticking with Minnesota too. And Bruce, and like, I forget what podcast he was on. It might have been, I can't remember. It might have been Bar Down Beauties. Can't remember, but Boudreaux was on there and they were talking to him like right after he got fired. And he was just like, yeah, I can't remember if it was that or if he was talking to Russo. I can't remember. It was one of the two.
I believe
two fantastic. Either way, two fantastic shows. But like Boudreaux was like, yeah, I saw Dean like at the grocery store. I don't like seeing him. I was like, I was like, oh shit. I was just like, that's so funny. Where he's just like, I don't like seeing him around. I don't want to look at his face. And I was like, oh my god,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And then part of me was like, Bruce, bro, you somehow survived 3 different general managers. Like, I love you to death, and I will never say anything bad about you. But like, whatever.
I also love him. Like,
he's the best.
He also was like, in his defense, like he wasn't having that bad of a year. Like that was the second there was a little bit of a lapse. He's like, there it is. Jump. There's our chance. Get him.
Yeah.
Brucey. Yeah. Which, by the way, Bruce, when we had him on our show, like he is an absolute beauty. But the best is like we ask everyone like second question of the interview on Fellowship of the Rink, like, what's your nerd itch? And he went off on wrestling and comic books for a while.
Oh, Jesus.
He flat out said, and everyone should go back and either watch the full interview on YouTube or the episodes on Fellowship of the Rink. Please go subscribe, 5 stars, whole thing. He basically had to sell his whole comic book collection to buy like a nice house. And I don't know if it was days or like a week later, he got called up from Hershey to Washington and could have done it without selling his prize collection.
And he probably was like, I really wish I didn't get called up. It's like, man. Would have been nice after like 6 months of being in this house.
Yeah.
A little salt in the wound.
Oh no, Cosgrove's here. It's on now. But I think it's a really good fit. I think Dean makes a ton of sense for this roster, assuming that they're realistic. Like, obviously, they're not going to come out and say, like, oh, we don't care. Like, we're not ready to win. They're going to say publicly, like, no, this team needs to win based on the moves they made last year. But, like, it's a young roster. Clearly, they've been through the ringer with coaching carousel, losing culture, right? They got some good young players. They need to have just the right, we're going to use this in a good way, culture established. And we saw it in Minnesota, man. Dean sets the culture. He empowers the players. And I'll be honest, right? I had ups and downs. I had times where I was positive and very negative about the X's and O's and what I saw on the ice, but you can't argue with how he was monumental in shifting the culture because, yeah, getting rid of Parise and Suter helped. Dean was there to really usher it along and take that last step in pushing the team in the right direction and having what's been heralded now as like one of the better locker rooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, I think we all eventually had our qualms with like the usage of some of the young players or whatever. Don't really have an option in Columbus. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, even if you don't,
I don't know.
Like, I look at
Juracek didn't play last year.
Well, and how that went pretty well. But like when I look at like the older players on the roster, it's like, yeah, no, that guy should be playing. Like, I mean,
yeah,
no, he should absolutely be playing. Other than like fucking
absolutely isn't necessarily the right word, but yes, I agree. The older guy should have been playing in several spots.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I cannot imagine how like not fun it probably was / has been in Columbus showing up to the rink every day when like it's just not going well. The team is brutal. Like, again, we've talked about Yarmo on here before. Like, I love the way that they draft, always have. He was a really good scout before he became a general manager. His thing is going to the rink and watching hockey. But in terms of like the cutthroat nature of like them like negotiating contracts, all this stuff, like that combined with the team just clearly not performing other than the one good year they had. Yeah. And then every fucking time these guys are like up for a big payday, they go somewhere else. Like, I can't imagine how just not fun it is to show up to the rink every day. And you know that like Dean's first thing, like he literally, part of the quote that I absolutely took out of context, I think it's funny when he just says, I don't know exactly what's in the room. The end of that quote is just like, it's our job to get the best out of this team, to play hard every night. I have no doubt we're going to do that. We'll do that very quickly. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like Dean. That's a Dean Evason.
That is Dean.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely Dean. This would absolutely crush my soul. Mateo, you're an asshole. Don Waddell's next move, signed Kalen Addison. The 2x8, let's just be real, that's not a thing. But if Kalen Addison somehow landed in Columbus, I would probably cry.
Yeah, no, then
watch.
Yeah.
He goes there and like Dean's like, no, I like you now.
Yeah, he's like,
then I'd be like, all right, I got to ask Garen some questions. Fuck you.
Yeah.
First question, number one, how dare you?
Yeah. But like one of the things I was reading the Athletic article like right after it got announced or whatever, and like one of my favorite parts was just like the players on the Blue Jackets are texting around the league, like texting color whatever, and he's like, the player was like, one guy said, my favorite message that I got back was like, be ready, won't always be easy, but you'll always respect him and you'll fucking win games. Where it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking rules. And like, again, the end of the Dean Evason tenure, like there was just a lot of negativity around the team in general. Like even given the limitations of the roster, the injuries that were going, whatever. But like, they were absolutely underperforming. But then you look at like some of their highs. It's like, how the fuck did this team win that many fucking games? Like, this is a guy that, like 100-point seasons back to back years. Like,
that is pretty nuts.
Like, and like again, that was especially when he came in, and like a guy like Kevin Fiala just continues. His was like it's very funny. I really enjoy their stories of like they've known each other forever. They're like the father and son that hate each other. And they both looked pretty good by the end of their time still. So I really I like the fit a lot. And any good vibes in Columbus, I am all aboard. Because that fucking market rules. Those are some of the most loyal fans.
No, their fans are like, awesome. I feel bad. Like, we shit on the team and decisions that are made, whatever. Like, the fans are great.
Right.
So are their third jerseys. Two quick ones to wrap this up then on Dean Evason before we get into the World Junior Summer Showcase. First question is just like, how little does Dean need to accomplish to surpass Mikko Koivu for best player to transplant from, or best individual to transplant from Minnesota to Columbus?
How many games did Koivu play?
I think it was 7.
It's incredible.
But he played one game in the third jersey, and I still own it. I'm grabbing it.
Yeah, there you go. Throw it on there, will you? So as Hoppy goes and gets his shit, he's gonna put this fucking Koivu Blue Jackets jersey on. I'm not kidding. Anytime it's brought up that this man actually did play technically for the Columbus Blue Jackets, it blows my mind every single time. I always forget that Mikko Koivu actually was a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets and actually played games. Like, it's crazy to me. I was just saying, Hoppy, as he puts his headphones back on, every time that, I mean, realistically, this is actually the only show, or really like these episodes, or it's the only time that someone reminds me that Mikko Koivu was in fact a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh, I'll never forget. Never.
No, I forget. Every time it comes up, I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot. Like, I mean, you could tell me that tomorrow and I will have the same reaction again. I'm like, oh
right. Yeah.
But like, I feel like this has happened.
Gabrick did not go straight from Minnesota to Columbus. Didn't happen.
Yep. I feel like whenever there's been a player who's like played in one spot forever or finishes their playing career, like signing somewhere and only playing a couple games, like a handful of games, whatever, usually like they end up like working there in their front office for like a year, but like, it wasn't like a total fucking lost like month and a half that I was there. He literally stopped playing and was like, fuck this, I am going back. It's like, I'm out of here, fuck this shit. Didn't work for the team. Like, he literally just played 7 games, like, yo, fuck this, and left.
Mateo, I am playing a dangerous game right now where I am hoping that they'll get cheaper and that I can snag a Logan Cooley Kachina jersey for a reasonable price instead of paying full, because right now, like, I don't want to spend that much money on a Cooley Kachina jersey, but that's absolutely on my list. It's very high on my list of like need to acquire jerseys. Last one here then, Z. Get creative. And I know we're going to be pretty aligned on this. Top things you need to see in a Dean Evason tribute video for the home opener for the Minnesota Wild this year.
I mean, the first one has to be just like him nonchalantly telling the wave to Bonus. Like,
I think that needs to be the end of it. Personally.
I don't know. It's a weird end, though. Inviting someone to fight him. But I mean, it would be funny if the entire tribute video was just him punching Darby. That would be outrageous.
I said the exact same thing to Joe Smith on our episode that dropped today. I said
there's nothing else.
A compilation of Darby gut punches when they win.
And that's it. Like there's no hockey. It's literally just him punching people, and then just end it with the commercial they did.
And what if
not weird?
What if they sneak in a couple of clips from The Office too?
Yeah, I mean, Absolutely.
I think
It's
that's
great.
the win.
It's all good stuff. He'll be like, motherfucker. Like,
It'd be, how could he not laugh though? Like he'd be like, damn, they got me. Well played.
like, all right, fair enough, I guess. You know what? I sometimes like whenever I stumble across like a Dean Evison hockey fight video from when he was in the NHL, I just die laughing when I remember that he had a mullet. I'm like, oh my God, he was an absolute, he is a complete sicko. And now he's still ripped out of his mind. Like he is a fucking animal.
I don't know if you listened to the episode or not, but when we had Ray Ferraro on, like he told us a couple stories about being roommates with Dean Evison when they both got sent down to the AHL because they were on separate teams, but for some reason back then it was a shared AHL. So they were like roommates together. Awesome. And Mateo with a solid comment here. It would be funny if in Nashville's first visit to Columbus, Dean jumped the glass, a la Patrick Waugh.
We need it. Need it like we need air.
Absolutely need it. All right, we are good. That's it for NHL talk. And shout out Barrel Theory, Voice in the Night, which the way this was that I was holding it, I only read the first part, and it says hazy double dry hopped. And I'm just like, oh, it's a double IPA. If you turn it, it says triple India Pale Ale, and it is 10.5%. So we are well on our way to happiness, sadness, all the emotions. And now we're going dinner. But let's kick it off here. We have roster review 2024 World Junior Summer Showcase. And I think at this point, anyone that listens to this show, Z, is very familiar with the World Juniors, which comes up around Christmas, Boxing Day, Isha. Explain to everyone, though, like, what is this tournament? What is the Summer Showcase? What's the purpose? What's going on?
Yeah, so that's actually exactly how I was going to start this. And actually, sorry, before I do,
make sure they know it was your idea, not mine.
Yeah, no. That's the plan here. Just real quick though, before I do that, anytime you get a triple IPA or like a 10.5%, that's like I need to feel something tonight. I don't know what it is, but it needs to be emotional. I don't know what. Anger, sadness, couldn't tell you. Happy rage, where I'm just like, I am gonna fuck something up. I'm not really mad at anybody, but it could happen. That's that purchase. You're like, something's happening tonight, and I'm gonna feel something. Anyways, but the Summer Showcase.
I tell you what, if we do a collaboration beer with Barrel Theory, I'll just make it. I just want to feel something.
I need to feel something.
Quadruple IPA.
I have just been feeling gray, and there's just nothing going on. We hammer a couple of these 10.5ers. No, but the Summer Showcase happens every year. This year, Canada's come back for the first time in a long time. They usually do not. They literally have their own like Canada versus Canada camp for the World Juniors.
But do we need to be worried then? Like, is this?
I think they're only playing a couple games.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your husbands. They're raping everybody up in here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Canada's like somehow a part of this and only playing like a few. Like I don't know. I was listening to someone talk about it. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know Canada was actually coming back. And it was like they made it sound like they're gonna come back for like 2 games.
They still haven't released their roster either. Everyone else has their rosters up, and right now it just says to come.
Yeah, fuck them. But the World Junior Summer Showcase, again, it's exactly what it sounds like. This is like the evaluation period, really the first like long, hard look that you can get at your potential selections for the World Juniors. And like it's literally because like during the season you're obviously not going to get like a 50-person camp. So I think like USA has 46 guys. And with the US team, they'll do like USA like blue and white. And then when it comes to the actual like elimination games, like they combine with the team that's going to be pretty close to like their World Junior roster. And I mean like USA, they're bringing back pretty much the same exact coaching staff, which by the way, what a fucking, what a year. What's his face? Like national championship, World Junior gold medal, he's going to go back and coach him again. Like that guy, he's so fucking young. But they're bringing back the exact same coaching staff. You've got 2 of the goalies coming back. You've got a guy like Ryan Leonard probably going to be the captain of this team. One of the big reasons he did not sign apparently was because he knew he wanted to go back to the World Juniors too, along with like going for that national championship. But if he was going to sign, there's a pretty good chance that like he would be in the NHL, and they probably would not have made him available for the World Juniors.
That's awesome. So let me say, kudos to him for that. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the fact that
helicopter shit.
Also pretty funny then in that case that he's also like he plays for the Washington Capitals, like of fucking course. But anyways, this is like it's literally a showcase. So this is where a lot of teams make their evaluations. It's the only time really like because once the season starts, you don't really have any other opportunity outside of like inviting all of these kids to your like pre-tournament camp or whatever. So this is the evaluation period. Again, Canada usually does their own thing, but they will be back this year. And it's always an interesting mix. Like usually there's probably like 4 or 5 guys that might be like eligible for the draft upcoming that get invited or like aren't there, but have a chance to make it still. But usually pretty much everyone that's in contention everyone that's in contention to like make this team, usually they're at this showcase. So and this year it's going to be, there's plenty of talent.
That feels weird.
All over the place.
Like, but maybe I'm just like not paying enough attention in other years, but I feel like half the team is usually draft eligible. No,
most of it's
for like the actual World Junior Championship. At least the third.
No, like, it's usually just like
the guys. There's 1 goalie, 1 defenseman, and 3 forwards out of this ridiculously large roster that are 2025 eligible. That seems really low.
No, it's pretty rare to make. It's hard to make the fucking team as a draft eligible. It's like when you think about the guys that do make that team, usually it's like guys that are going top 10.
How many were on it last year?
Booyam.
I'll look it up. I'll do some research. You keep talking.
But anyways, honestly, like with the World Juniors, it's usually like there's a couple of the guys that go super early that make the teams, especially US and Canada. Like you'll see it a lot more often with like the European teams just because there's like fewer players or whatever. But it's fucking hard to make a World Junior roster for like USA, Canada, back when Russia was fucking playing, Russia, even like Sweden as a draft eligible. Like it usually doesn't happen. Like maybe there's like 1 guy or 2 guys on a team. This year there's gonna be I think 3 or 4 of like the top guys are gonna be at this showcase. I think Porter Martone for Canada will be there. He should be there. But usually it's like, again, this is like the showcase for the World Juniors, and then the Holinka really kicks off like the draft year. That's the tournament that really gets that started. But obviously this is different because it's like usually all drafted players. Usually it's usually honestly guys that just got drafted. That usually makes up a large portion of the rosters for this showcase anyways.
I stand outrageously corrected. There were 2 draft eligibles for their championship team this year. I would have thought there were at least 6. So
yeah,
I'm out.
Again, it's usually it's the top guys. You know what I mean?
So, okay, tell me though, out of this group, then goalie, I won't make you evaluate, but here's the 4 guys that are draft eligible that are in this camp or this tournament. Logan Hensler, USNTDP, out of Minnesota, not a big deal on defense. At forward, we've got, let's see, Tanner Adams, Providence College. We've got James Haggins. Yeah, he'll be on the team. USNTDP, and he's going to BC. And then LJ Mooney, who Z refuses to ever say nice things about, but he kind of a good player.
I only said nice things about him, but that's okay. And what is actually interesting about those 4 is Tanner Adams is an overager. He's been undrafted. So he is technically eligible again. He's going to, like, I don't even know if so he might not even get drafted next year, and he'll probably get signed out of college, to be honest with you. And he's a fucking good player too. Headed to Providence. I don't think he was there last year, actually. He had a really good year. But those guys, so the one that's gonna be interesting to see, and I was actually listening to, oh, god damn it, who was? Oh, I was listening to Chris Peters talk about the showcase earlier. LJ Mooney's a fascinating one. Like, when you look at his skill set in terms of raw talent, top 10 talent, and it was funny because, like, the story that he brought up was like he's technically 5'7", and it's like, for whatever reason, when you find out at these like combines, whatever, like when the measurements happen, and I forget who it was, which player it was that was like, oh no, he's 5'8", and apparently like half the GMs were like, oh shit, he's 5'8", he's not 5'7". Oh my god, and like they lost their minds and it made a big difference. But in terms of just like raw talent, LJ Mooney, like skill, offensive ability, like he is easily top 10. It's just you look at the size, and then again, like a lot of his play is predicated on like individual play, but like if he could, and he absolutely is good enough to make this team. If he makes this World Junior squad, that is going to give him like a real good shot at staying as a first round draft pick this year. And the fact that he's already at that size with how skilled he is, like the fact that he's already, like, even when he played, he was better with the U18s at the NTDP last year than he was with the U17s. Like, he was a point per game with the U18 squad. He is legit, man.
Did you see what they listed him at for this tournament? Height and weight?
5'6".
5'6", 150.
Yeah. They're like, fuck.
Like, if you're 5'6", 150 is not bad. Like, he's probably got some meat to him. But, yeah. Bummer. I need him to make it.
He is so fucking good. He's so fun to watch, dude. Like, he's the kid that's like every time the puck's at his stick, it's like, what is he about? Like, he's must watch. Like, if he hits, dude, and in the NHL, it's gonna be like he's like, that's why we buy tickets. Like that, like when you're going to the game, it's like, what is he gonna do? Because that's how fucking good he is. And again, like I think at the World Juniors too, he could be a whole lot of fun. Like like a middle six dude. Like that's on the third line. It's like, oh great, there's like a top 5 most skilled player here on their third line. That's great. But the U.S. team is going to be fascinating. Zeev Buium most likely going to be their number 1 defenseman at the World Juniors this year. And like the thought of him playing with like EJ Emery is so fascinating to me. Where it's like EJ Emery, 6'6", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 200 whatever pounds, just absolute defensive machine, paired with a guy like Zeev Buium, who's me flying around the ice, offense, defense, like all of the above.
I just found a name that I can't believe we didn't talk about a year ago. Matt Mania. If anyone's last name is Mania, you can make that real fun. Like, think about it. If you've got like, if it was LJ Mania instead of LJ Mooney, it's like LJ Mania.
We're a big fan.
You're turning the first name into the Mania. It's great.
Oh
man, that's so fun. But yeah, I mean, Williams a shoe-in. From the way everyone's talking about EJ Emery, he's got to be a shoe-in. But I forget how many people are in these rosters. It's like very, very thick right now. And it's like, there's so many good players. How do you even like whittle this down to an actual World Junior roster?
Yeah. And I mean, again, like when you look at the roster on USA Hockey, like their website or whatever, that's the full. Again, they get split into 2 and then they pick for the actual elimination games. But no, USA is poised to be it's going to be them and Canada favorites again. I think with Canada, dude, like what's going to be interesting is a guy like Gavin McKenna, who will not be at the World Junior Summer Showcase for when Canada comes, but he will be at the Holinka. 2026 eligible. He is probably going to finish. He has a good chance as a 2026 eligible to finish this tournament as a leading point getter. Like, he is fucking unbelievable. Like over a point per game in WHL as a double underager last year. Like he is scary. He is insane. He also played for Medicine Hat, so he was playing with Lindstrom and Andrew Basha, two of my favorite players in last year's draft. But he lit it up at the U18s. He's phenomenal, so it'll be fun to watch him at the Holink anyways. But he's got a very good chance of making that Canada roster. Well, he's going to make that Canada. There's no chance he doesn't make it because he's already one of the best players on the planet.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk then about, I guess, more recently, your go-to nation. Under smart, I won't say hard, but smart with an R, hockey. Team Sweden. A lot of familiar names now that you talk to me about a lot of them so very often, but how do they stack up in this group? Because like you said, it's USA and Canada's tournament to win. Like, is Sweden right there knocking at the door, or are they a little bit off?
Yeah, I mean, I probably put. So it's interesting. Like their roster for this tournament this year, like, is kind of similar to just like this past draft year, like as a whole. Like there are a handful of guys that are going to be looked at as like, no, this is one of the best players internationally, like with this age group. Maybe not. Like they only have like one or two guys that, like, yeah, no, this guy legitimately, like, he is like top draft pick, whatever. But they just have it's like they're a team of like second line forwards, second pair D-men. And like, it just screams consistency. So it's going to be a very, very good team. And I mean, they have also got like at least one. Let me see. They've got a couple guys who've been passed over the last couple drafts that I was like shocked by. I still don't know how some of them went undrafted, but they've also got, let's see, Victor Eklund, who's eligible at 25. Like him a ton.
Is he related to Slippery Pete?
Sadly not. But we can tell everyone that he is.
Unslippery Dave. That's what we're gonna call him.
Yeah, we like that. And then like, so they've got some of those guys, and then they've got just a bunch of players who I really, really liked for like second or third round picks, especially this past year. Like Lucas Pettersson, Leo Salimulanius, let's see, Luke Pettersson, Melvin Fernstrom. I thought Mons Torres was going to get drafted this year. He was
your boy Otto Stenberg is on the list.
Stenberg's there, yep. Simon Zether. Like they've just got a bunch of solid players up and down the lineup.
Some bum named Tom Willander. I don't know.
Yeah, heard of him.
Never matter. Awesome name for a draft eligible here that if they end up being decent, you're going to have to tell me if they're even going to be on the radar for like top 3 rounds. But Svante Shodin, what a name.
So I actually don't even know which year he was. So the cutoff day for like the draft is September 15th, and his birthday is September 15th. Like, but he's an 05, so he would have been.
Oh, so he got passed
over. Yeah, but he's just another solid fucking player. Like decent size, right in the middle 6. Probably like, again, like I've always liked him. It's like since just like tracking the J20, like he always produces. But again, like Sweden they're doing it's like even when they don't have a ton of like their top guys, or like this past year, again, like we talked about this, like there was no like legit Swedes that went in the first round. And Anton Frondell, who will be challenging James Higgins for first overall, he will not be at this tournament. He will be at the Holinka, and he's going to torch the Holinka, by the way, just as everyone gets ready. That's in a couple weeks.
Is there a reason he's not at the tournament? Like, is that just like, oh, he like couldn't or didn't want to, or?
They always go like either older. He also recovered. I think he's healthy again, but he missed a big chunk of last year with a foot injury. And I think he personally also was just more interested in the Holinka than the actual like World Junior Summer Showcase. I would imagine he makes that World Juniors team though. If he's not playing pro next year, which he will probably split between the Allsvenskan and the J20. But he will be much like Gavin McKenna, he's going to beat the Hlinka, and they're both going to be ripping apart that tournament. So again, I would have loved if he was at this one, because at this point, like, as we get more familiar with the 2025 class, Frondell is going to be, I mean, right now he's consensus top 3 and one of the 3 guys challenging first overall. Higgins is obviously in the lead, like pretty much consensus, but him, Porter Martone are going to be challenging Higgins for sure. But again, Sweden, it's just like, no matter, even if they have like a down year in terms of like a draft class, it's like they have so many guys that are just so reliable, so good. Like, I love the way that like their development, like kind of like just program, I guess, works overall, where it's like they have a bunch of guys who play a really good 2-way game. Some of them are really flashy offensively, but they all, like, you can throw them over the boards in any situation and they will perform. Yeah. And Nash is like, it's a team that you fucking hate playing against, a team like Team Sweden. Like, it's unbelievable. So
I think that's them and Finland, but got to do a shameless plug here. We just had most recent Swedish captain for the World Junior Championship team, Liam Ugrin, on Fellowship of the Rink. Kid's awesome. Definitely does not lack confidence. It's funny, just 1 or 2 times he definitely has to grasp for the English word of what he's trying to say, but the kid is awesome. And I think Z and I are on the same page here that we very much hope / borderline almost expect him to be vying for that spot on the second line, worst case third line.
Vying for sure.
Yeah, vying. There we go. That's all we need. Because there aren't any Minnesota prospects that are invitees here, right? Nope.
Not for Sweden.
Not a one. But we do have some on the other side of Scandinavia in Finland. And there's some sweet names over here, but you gotta do some justice for the people and give us the 2 Minnesotans first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've talked on this podcast so often about Rasmus Kumpalainen. He will be there. Obviously, he's playing pro in Finland this year. I'm very excited to watch him there. But like, again, I mean, I don't really think he could have gone wrong either way. I do like that he's playing pro hockey, because the OHL at this point, like, again, still one of the best development leagues in the world as far as like junior hockey goes. But anytime like they have an opportunity to play pro hockey, especially in Finland, where like that's a hard fucking league. Like, I talked about this before, like, especially putting up offense there is incredibly difficult. And Kumpalainen is just like a fascinating player in general, where it's like the speed isn't there, but somehow extremely successful in transition, and the skill is just through the roof. So I think he actually, and on a good Pelicans, that's a good team, great name. I think he's going to fare quite well over there. He's got the size, the skill combo, and just like the overall play, how he plays, like, absolutely fits that league anyways. But like, anytime you can play pro hockey before you step in the NHL, I think it's a good thing. So I like that. I like that he's going over there. I know Oshawa was not happy. Like, they are upset that he is not there this year, because he's a big, big part of that team, big part of their top 6. And he probably would have been quite successful this year for Oshawa. So I know they're bummed out that he's not playing the O, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to expect from him here. Like, Finland, it's just typical Finnish team where they've got a couple like top guys, but like they play that pain in the ass style where it's just like they want to clog it in the neutral zone, very defensive, extremely physical. So kind of like a nightmare for like teams that are predicated mostly on skill. And again, like, Kumpalainen's always performed quite well when he gets a good look. It gets good minutes for Finland. So that'll be interesting. But like, again, I said this before, I really am interested in tracking Sweeney this year. Sebastian Sweeney, fifth round pick this year. The rare right shot defenseman in this prospect pool. He's gonna be playing in Liga again this year, probably full time. I probably would have preferred that he played like junior hockey last year instead of playing in the Messies and like the AHL version of Finnish pro hockey over there. I don't know. Yeah, he has all the tools in the world, and the fact that he's a right shot makes him so intriguing. I think he was just a little bit over his skis a bit playing in that league last year. Would have preferred that he played like U20 because he looked pretty good playing against his peers. But that's the one guy, and especially like with the World Junior Summer Showcase, like someone he's I'll be honing in on specifically for the Minnesota Wild prospect pool for sure. Because I think he's got so many, again, like all the tools in the world that makes him so intriguing. That's why they took him in the 5th round. And a guy with that kind of profile probably should go earlier. It's just like he hasn't had much hockey playing against his own peers. So it'll be interesting to watch him for sure.
I just got to throw out some absolutely incredible names. Some of them have been drafted the last 1 or 2 years, but a handful that have not for all name consideration. We've got Viti Luhivara, Jimmy Junkari, Nico Korkala, Mitya Jokinen, Artu Tukala. That's all just fantastic. But then my two favorite, we've got Artu Alasirua in Mnemone.
Alasirua, yeah.
What a name. And then drafted 2 years ago, apparently, that I missed, Visa Vedenpa.
Well, they got your boy. 7th rounder in 2023, Callie Kangas.
Callie Kangas. And, hey, can't forget Emil Pienaniemi.
A+. Big fan of Heikki Ronan. Big fan, by the way, just saying. Flyers draft pick. One of the few that I was like, that's a really good player. Where they drafted him, everything feels right about this pick. Like him a lot. And I mean, Atos Koivu, come on. Obviously, love him.
Have to. It's the rules. Anyone else you want to touch on here, or are we wrapping up / talking about the mythical soon-to-come Canada roster?
Yeah, that's about it. Again, like just looking at this roster, it's like, yeah, this team's gonna be really annoying to play against, even if they don't have like the top end slash. Like, it's just like, God works. Damn it.
Yep. All right, Canada. I feel like that has to be said, right? I can't tell if Mateo is being like facetious here, but Kiviharu does not belong to any of these nations, so no, he will not be participating. Also, how are media people still pronouncing it Kiviharju?
They can't help themselves.
How hard is it to learn someone's name? I don't know. It's okay. But yeah, he is not Finnish. He plays in the Finnish league, not Finnish. What is he? Swiss?
Finnish.
No, he's not.
Who are you thinking of?
What?
Yeah.
Dude. No, he's Danish. Shut your mouth. I just looked it up. He's from Denmark, you dipshit.
Look where he plays. Look at the international team he plays on.
But that's not where he's from.
He plays for. He at no point has ever played for Denmark.
But he's from Denmark. True or false? Is he from Denmark?
No, not really.
Where was he born?
Finland. I don't know.
Denmark, Finland is where he was born. All right.
Hell
well,
yeah.
Mateo, apparently he's played for Finland, but he is not Finnish. Aaron Kiviharju is a Danish-born... Wait, what is a Danish-born Finnish ice hockey defenseman? What does that mean?
I think he literally lived... I think he was born there and then immediately moved.
Military, baby. Got it.
Something like that.
Yeah, why isn't he on the list then?
Good question. I would have thought this would have been like a very good opportunity for him to like play international hockey again and like really get his name back on. So I don't know.
Just wait now. All the comments are gonna be Judd Brackett and Bill Guerin fucked it up again. 4th round. Should have been a 6th rounder. You can't even make the summer showcase team for Finland. God damn it.
They really reached in the fourth round there.
All right. My only 2 questions for Canada, because it's really all that I care about, is do you think Canada has the balls to leave Riley Heidt at home again? If he's available?
Yeah, he won't be playing. He's not playing in this tournament. He will not be playing this tournament.
No. Oh, okay. Well, for World Juniors then, if he's not playing for the Wild, is there any chance he's not on the World Junior roster?
I don't know, because like Canada always like galaxy brains their roster. I mean, it's worked out for them before, but like we saw a couple years ago, they left Lambos off the roster because they wanted a defense core of guys that were like 6'3", 6'4", mixed in with like their one ultra skilled defenseman. Like they do this every year, and like I get it, but like, so that wouldn't shock me.
Based on their performance last year and the season that he had, and the scrutiny immediately that he was left off, like I feel like it would be really hard to not include him. I don't know. It'd be hilarious, and I would prefer it because I don't want Canada to win. So I love Riley Heidt. I do not want him playing in the World Juniors. And then tell me, shoe-in or not for my boy over in Pittsburgh to be part of the roster?
Jaeger? Oh, yeah. He is absolutely going to be a shoe-in. He will be in their top 6. He's going to be one of their go-to guys.
Will he be in their top 3?
Probably. I mean, off the top of my head, yeah, most likely. He'll probably have a letter, too. Because I don't think he's going to be playing in Pittsburgh this year. Like,
I wouldn't think so.
Right. So I do think he's going to be wearing a letter for them. He's going to be one of their go-to guys for sure. But yeah, no, Braden Yeager should be, again, like absolutely. He could even be wearing the C. Who knows? But we'll see. Nailed it. Didn't mean to. But yeah, he'll be there for sure.
Actually, wait. Pickering's a Canadian too, right?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be there?
Probably.
Love that.
I'm curious to see what the actual roster looks like for Canada at this, because like I don't think they take this very seriously. What they do take, they will be the overwhelming favorite for is the Hlinka. That's where they all of them want that tournament. And the U.S. That's mid to late August, so like another 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. And the thing with the Hlinka, like the USN TDP, that like they don't go there. So like last year, like Trevor Connolly ripped it up for the US team. So that's like where all the USHL guys go. So it's always like a pretty underdog roster for like the US, but Canada comes in every single year as the overwhelming favorite. I think it was 2 years ago. I think they like Team Canada scored like 50 something goals in 6 games and gave up like 3. And I think they were trailing for 17 seconds total. No, sorry. They were never trailing. They were tied for 17 seconds. Like that was the most amount of time that they were not winning a game. Like every game they started, scored. It was a joke. Like they ripped everybody apart. It was unbelievable. But that's them every fucking year. And once again, unfortunately, in terms of pure hockey, like, you know, fuck them. But like Russia will not be there again. So like for 2025, Ivan Ryabkin, who's the top 5, probably consensus at this point, not going to see him at any international tournaments. So that sucks, but is what it is.
But hey, they smuggled Mishkov out, so
he's going to be. I mean, I love that they sent the top brass to pick him up at the airport. Like not even like a PJ. Like it was like literally like it was very funny seeing the pictures of like Danny Briere and them like picking him up from the airport. Where it's like this is like that's the actual. They don't give a fuck. Like they were like, yeah, no,
baggage claim. What?
Yeah, like. Yeah, they were like making small talk, waiting for his luggage. Like it's very funny to me. So like Russia, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Over there a little bit. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know, it's nuts.
It's like, yeah, our baggage claim's a little faster, but
yeah, he's like, yeah, this is what's up with this. Where's the? By the way, like, when do you give me the black card? Like, where do I get the unlimited fun? What car are we driving back, by the way?
Also, is your gas as good as ours?
Yeah, we have define, like what are we thinking? It's like, Jesus Christ, this kid's kind of a weapon.
So like, well, we do have smelling salts. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I did that when I was 3.
He's like, hey, I was born with one of those, like already like lodged up in there.
Jesus. Okay.
Just saying. I love that we're not waiting for him. I love that so much. Like, and actually, as much as I do love it, I get nervous about anyone that wasn't really because of the way everything, the whole world has exploded since he really came onto the scene and like people start talking about him. I get nervous that people who have not really watched much Michkov for more than like, I don't know, like YouTube clips. I could also see people being like underwhelmed by how he plays.
Well, and
but like,
I feel like there's a lot of people that like age just isn't a factor until it's time to talk about contracts. They're going to look and see like Panarin and Kaprizov in their first years. And it's like, oh wait, they're 5 years older than he fucking is when they made their debut.
Good teams. Like,
right. And they're going to be like, oh wow, he's not as good as Panarin or Kaprizov. What a joke. It's like, yeah, the kid's fucking 19. Shut up.
Yeah. And I mean, like, again, with Michkov, he's not like the fastest skater in the world. Obviously, like, he doesn't lose the puck, but not because he's got the craziest hands or the craziest skill in the world. He is a fucking genius on the ice. As I think elite prospects would put it, if they had those, like, at this point now when you go to like a player page there, they have like player traits or whatever.
Sure.
And it's like the first thing on his would be like cerebral tactician. It's one of their favorite ones that they're out there. But he is
aggressively. I told you that last week for one of them.
Yeah.
Like the first thing was cerebral tactician. It's like, Jesus Christ, come up with some expanded vocabulary.
Nah, that'll work.
Copy
that'll
paste.
That'll work.
Command C, Command V.
That's Michkov. I mean, that kid fucking lit it up on like one of the worst Russian hockey teams I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like that team lost 24 games in a row. Then they Ska was like, no, he's too young and good for us. So they sent him to Sochi and he immediately was like point per game. It was like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck is he doing that?
Shit, dude, there was a night where I'd had a couple extra whiskeys and you had me convinced that he was like more talented potentially than Bedard.
Well, I said if the world didn't explode and if everything, like all things being equal, like in terms of their raw ability, yeah, they would have been neck and neck,
which is nuts. Which is why I'm also not thrilled that he's in Philadelphia. But weirdly, I prefer that over Leonard. So
yeah, there you go.
Like, I don't know.
Ryan Leonard, he's just like, God damn it. I don't know if he's going to like make my best defenseman look stupid or he's going to like put my favorite player in the hospital for like months. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to do something and I don't like it.
No, it's literally a like choose your own adventure. Your best defenseman, do you want him to posterize them or hospitalize them?
Yeah. There's no other. That's it. That's all you got.
And if you're Edmonton, you're like, can I convince them that my highest paid defenseman is my best defenseman? Because in that case, I'm going to go hospitalize.
Yeah, I thought that was going to go darker than. Thank God that's where we went.
Oh, Jesus, darker! How dare you?
I was nervous. I was scared. I was scared of what was coming.
You're the one that said darker, not me.
No, I know. I was just getting ready for it. But that's about it. I don't really have anything else. It's that fucking annoying time of the summer. But next week we'll have these games to talk about because the tournament starts. Actually, this drops Friday, so that day is when the World Junior Summer Showcase starts.
Now, today, in 2 days, future, past, time travel. It happened. is happening. Will happen soon.
It's happening live. You should listen while watching. You should listen to this while watching those. Nailed it. I don't know. I got nothing else. I fucking hate. I'm at the point. I hate the summer because like I gotta make shit up about hockey. Everything I just said was bullshit. I just made it all up. Every player I said was good sucks. So yeah, summer rules. We love the summer. Fucking heat. God damn it. I hate it. But yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else.
We did it. We did the thing. It was fun.
Yeah, we talked about prospects for 8 minutes.
We talked
Chew
about
on that one.
Prospects for a lot more than 8 minutes.
18 minutes.
Oh.
Something like that.
Longer than that, but yeah, whatever. I feel like it was like 40 minutes, but yeah.
Whatever works.
I love that behind the scenes, and this won't shock anyone, but like every time it's directly from Z, like, yeah, this is gonna be a quick one. We don't have anything to talk about. Here we are, hour 33.
Once I talk about my roommate's cat for the first 15 minutes of this fucking show, and the like the layout of my
still more than an hour.
And the layout of my bedroom, which I wonder what category this podcast falls under for Apple Podcasts.
Be excited. They want to hear more about your lantern.
The lantern
blinds.
You see this? It's pretty good.
It is messing with me that like you're on a completely different wall.
I know. Look like, how gross that was.
I was actually better off when it was blurred. Like I didn't have to learn how different things are.
Yeah, no, get used to it. It'll look different next week too, because my roommate gets home tomorrow, so I will not be having to be responsible for the cat.
So you'll just have a couple more things on the wall?
Yeah, he won't rip it down. It'll look normal.
Nice.
Okay. Normal, that's relative, but whatever.
It will look normal for you.
Yeah, I won't be as upset by it. Like the whole time I've just been looking at it in the I'm like, oh god, I look like a fucking serial killer. But you know what? That's fine. It's my preferred look.
You know what? Usually people that look like serial killers aren't serial killers. So that's like good, right? That still has to be the greatest closing scene in the history of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
When like the guy is basically like Dee's stalker at the store. She ends up getting the key to his apartment to go like, I don't remember if it's watering plants or feeding her his cats, whatever. They go in there, open the freezer, and there's heads. Like the whole time they're like trying to figure out like who's the murderer that they're talking about on the news. Guy walks in. What are you guys doing in my apartment? And it just pans over to them all, just like, and then all of a sudden Frank, and over. And it's just so perfect. And also, bonus points that guy, the serial killer, is Thomas from The Ringer.
Oh, yeah.
Character. Dude, guaranteed laugh no matter how much trouble I'm in. Thomas does the like, should I wear my shirt up?
Yeah, that's an easy, yeah.
Or up, or possibly tucked in. She loses her mind every time.
Yeah. No, that's a decision you got to make. You're like, I'm in the doghouse right now. Do I want to be though? Is the doghouse kind of nice today?
Right. No. There's days where it's like, is it worth burning this? Because you can't do it like on the regular because then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, do I burn this chip now or do I think I'll do something dumber in the next 3 or 4 days? Burning it.
What does my schedule look like, right?
Oh, shit. I'm supposed to go to the casino with the guys. All right. I'm going to eat this one and be in the doghouse for a day or two.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Gotta be able. I'm just gonna soak it. Just gonna eat this one.
And now we're talking about the Utah Hockey Club, apparently.
The soaker. Yeah. Soakers.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now you're doing sign language or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I meant to. This has nothing to do with. We could probably
all the better
not
people
talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, love it.
Friday, the crowd was it crowd strike, crowdsource, whatever.
Huh?
Oh my god, that fucked the whole world up.
Yes, the Microsoft thing.
Oh my god.
You ready to give me bonus points? Just because I know you and Cosgrove are probably the only ones that'll appreciate this. I had to immediately go to TikTok, which like I post on like once a month because I just don't really use it. But occasionally, genius strikes. What video do you think I posted to make fun of Microsoft from a movie to make fun of them?
I have no idea. Actually, off the top of my head.
So my favorite PG-13 movie growing up, because I was like the kid that couldn't really watch PG-13 so I was 13 because my parents, whatever. Wouldn't think that looking back now at who I am, but Big Daddy. Do you know the scene?
Yeah.
What's the quote? For those listening, Z just collapsed on his desk, so that means I won. Say the quote. Fucking say it.
I can't. I'm so glad we have the same sense of humor. Otherwise, I don't know what we would talk about. It's so funny too. People like don't realize when I came out to visit you in the summer when we were doing our rounds on the East Coast, we spent one night just watching like funny movies that we both have like talked about liking and just laughed our asses off the whole time. How did we not watch Big Daddy?
Big Daddy. I haven't seen Big Daddy in so long, but I still like know the whole movie by heart. And there was a guy that I know through Isha's old network endeavors through THPN, a guy that covers the Devils. He came out and he's like, I need a podcast name for covering the New York Jets. And he's like, JETS, Jets. I'm like, nah, dude, I got you. The Pod Damn Jets. How do you not name a podcast the Pod Damn Jets?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Microsoft went down 3 points.
Oh, that's real good.
What a movie.
3 points.
What a movie.
Oh,
God damn it.
Yes, Cosgrove. Hip hop anonymous. It's so good. What let me see if I can remember it all. It's electricity, Constitution, Philadelphia, and then it's fish. Yes, very good. Pony. Yes. Hip hop anonymous. It's so good. My buddy, he gets all the credit in the world. So I just had a kid, like he's coming up on 7 months now. Also, he measures in like the 90s percentile for head circumference, height, and weight.
Animal.
We went in and saw a different person at our pediatrician's office for his delayed 6-month appointment because of fucking COVID. And she thought that he was 1 before she looked at his charts. So, yeah, he's a big boy. Apparently, the average weight for a 1-year-old is 21 pounds. He is 20.75 pounds.
Beast. What a fucking animal.
He's going to kill people. But
that's good.
I don't even know where I was going with that shit. Oh, no. I very much just got off.
There's that 10.5.
Yeah, it's just hitting. What was I going to say?
Talking about Big Daddy.
I'm done. I can't. I don't even know.
All right.
Hip hop anonymous. Oh, yes. So anyways, yeah, my kid was a complete side tangent, basically saying I was not the first of my friends to have kids. I'm pretty late in my friend group. I got a couple that are like right around the same time, but one of my buddies who has a kid that is like 3 or 4 now, I told him when I was over there, because they do a dance party with their little girl, like it's like her last thing before she goes to bed. And I'm like, well, dude, you got to find the best song, the kangaroo song. He went through the deepest, darkest holes of the internet, went through a million Reddit threads, and finally found the actual like full song. Like it went past what you see on the movie, and like my brain broke. I'm like, this isn't supposed to keep going. The kid's supposed to puke and it's over. Like,
I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable now.
I'm not comfortable with this.
We're in uncharted territory.
I love too that it says watching hockey. It's overtime, like penalty shot, and he has to change it for kangaroo song. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been like, I can deal with you screaming at me for the next 15 seconds for me to watch this penalty shot. I can't believe he actually changes it.
I'd be like, yeah, fucking no.
Like it's 15 more seconds. It'd be different if it's like, oh, this is gonna take like 5 minutes for him to shoot the puck. Like, no, dude, 15 seconds to like ice the game, penalty shot. No, kid's getting the Heisman. Just stiff arm.
You know what? It's so weird now thinking about it, but the level of rage that I also would have felt if I showed up like 2 minutes late to McDonald's breakfast menu.
Shared.
It's so weird to think about it now.
You know what's crazier though? McDonald's breakfast to me now, pretty mid. I don't.
I don't.
Taco Bell breakfast is elite.
We had that in Minnesota.
It is the best. It is one of the best things ever. No free ads. Again, the breakfast crunch wrap at Taco Bell, I could eat that every day and never get tired of it. It's so fucking good. Not to mention the rest of the menu is great.
Before I even landed in Minnesota, I think on 3 or 4 or 5 separate occasions, it was almost like a warning, and I was like, I don't need a warning. I'm just gonna eat it. You were like, just so you know, at least one morning we will be getting Taco Bell breakfast. And I was like, all right.
If this is actually true, Isha says Canada has all-day Taco Bell and McDonald's breakfast. USA is slacking. If this is true, not like McDonald's where like, yeah, they say they have all-day breakfast at McDonald's and like the menu is super limited. They make you wait 20 minutes because they're basically like starting over. Like, no, if they truly serve it and it's quick, rapid, all-day breakfast for both, that is the first time I will say that Canada has been better at America than anything besides Monopoly money and syrup. So kudos. That I'm jealous. That's awesome.
All right. Well, we did say, well, now the feeling something after a 10.5% is going way too far. Okay. We don't need that kind of sentiment around these parts. So let's take it back.
I'm very emotional about all breakfast foods. Breakfast is granted. Sweet breakfasts are overrated. I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. If it's like a good gourmet donut, I'll fucking eat it. Yeah. I'm not a pancake guy, not a waffle guy, not a like French toast guy. I am clean through Ron Swanson. Give me bacon and eggs. Give me eggs Benedict. Give me the crunch wrap at Taco Bell. Anything that's got egg in it and it's not like sweet, I will devour. Just get your ham out of my fucking face. Give me bacon or sausage. That's gonna be my new mission. I'm gonna find all of the best eggs Benedicts that are like spin-off eggs Benedicts. Like I've had some that are fucking bomb. There's one in Duluth that was a like beer battered walleye fillet Benedict. I've had crab cake Benedict. I've had some that have like guacamole and bacon. I've had a lobster Benedict. I'll eat a normal eggs Benedict and just deal with the ham because eggs Benedict is incredible. But dude, some of the amazing things I've seen people make shift. I think the crab cake one might be my personal favorite just because it was a thick crab cake and it was just like perfect. And Z's catching flies still. Wax on.
There's the one left. I'll tell you what. Number one, same sentiment as far as the sweets. Breakfast, like I am.
No need.
I just need, honestly. Also, like,
which is funny because
I'm not an eggs Benedict.
Your go-to is fucking Dunkin', but you don't get donuts, so that's good.
My go-to is not Dunkin', but that was
the
one thing that you lived right next to.
5 days, and you walked to Dunkin' every fucking day.
2 of those times was literally just to walk. And when I was going there, I was getting literally a drink. I was not getting food. I do like their the everything bagel stuffed cream cheese, whatever. The minis.
Yes. Yeah.
What are they called?
Those are quite good.
Yeah. But like
so
if I'm getting an actual
earlier today, I listened to Pardon My Take, and their Mount Rushmore was breakfast foods. So like I'm so primed for this.
It's
and I'm so opinionated.
It's just so good.
First round,
I just need a good breakfast sandwich. Give me a breakfast wrap.
Breakfast sandwich, but breakfast burrito I actually prefer. Over sandwich. But so someone tried in the draft. Someone's like at the turn took breakfast burrito, which is a great pick. On the way back at the other turn, a guy took breakfast tacos, and they're all like, dude, you just picked a really shitty version of breakfast burrito. And he like tried to defend it. They're like, no, dude. And Big Cat said something that resonates so deeply with me. He's like, I'm a spill guy, and I try and do everything in my power to reduce spills. And if I've got a burrito, I got way more control. If you got tacos, shit's falling out the back. It's a whole thing. Give me burrito over tacos every goddamn time.
Listen, next time you're out here, you know how the last place we went when you were in Boston was Jim's Deli?
That place rocked.
Dude, the breakfast.
What time's it end, though?
I'm sorry. I don't really know, actually, because
breakfast dinner's awesome, by the way.
So on the weekends, yeah, 100%. Sometimes to get out of their limitations in terms of like what time you're ordering something, I'll do like Uber Eats, but on pickup. So like they have to make it. I'm like, whoa, the fucking Uber Eats menu says it's on there. And like
I actually get dicked around with that.
Past, they've left me notes before they're like, please stop fucking ordering off Uber Eats. Well, no, they've wrote on the bag like, Colin, please stop. Oh no. Government names out there now.
Z, we gotta debate this here. Brunch burger, is that a breakfast sandwich? Yes or no?
This is so annoying.
A cheeseburger that has egg and bacon on it. Is that a breakfast sandwich?
I love that my Wi-Fi is working now. This is so good for me because these questions.
Can you hear me?
Top 5 least favorite. I can hear you, but it's so lagged. Like your mouth just moved 5 seconds after I heard everything. I love that it's just not working because these questions suck ass.
I'm with Mateo. It is not a breakfast sandwich. It is a brunch burger, breakfast burger, but it is not a breakfast sandwich, Isha. A cheeseburger is not a sandwich.
Correct.
So there we go. There's the answer.
Correct. And also, you don't need anyone that's like, oh, I can't have this right now because this is something that you would eat for lunch or dinner. I'm like, fuck off, you fucking absolute loser. Like,
if
I don't give a fuck.
Single, I would have breakfast for dinner every fucking night.
I don't give, 100%, dude. And like, guess what? Sometimes in the morning, I'm like, well, I don't feel like having toast right now. Fuck that. I'm having the leftover, whatever I had last night. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Also that,
but dude, let me read to you my favorite thing at Jim's Deli. So this breakfast wrap, it is called the Savage Wrap.
Listening. You had me at Meat Tornado.
Stand by. You had me at Meat Tornado. Let me read to
What a
you.
great quote.
And try not, let's see. Okay, good. The camera doesn't go below the belt, so that's good.
Yeah.
I need to pull it up so I read it exactly. Okay. It's actually on Uber Eats. It's just called The Savage.
Oh, and
It's a wrap.
the way you're doing this,
Hash.
it seems like it's the size of a baby, which makes me very
It is. It's a two-hander for sure.
Bigger, hang on. Bigger or smaller than vintage Chipotle burrito?
Well, that depends on the guy behind the fucking counter at Chipotle.
No, I'm saying vintage though, like back before they were dickheads. Like a normal, like it doesn't have to be the biggest one you've ever had, but not the current bullshit that's small as heck. Like what you would expect from an average Chipotle burrito 5 to 10 years ago, bigger or smaller?
Probably a little smaller, but better packed.
But if it's
the
a
distribution
smaller, I can work with that. I can work with a little smaller. That sounds massive, and I'm in. Go.
You pick it up. You're like, I know I'm gonna like this a lot.
Ingredients are important.
Hash, 3 eggs scrambled, home fries, grilled onions. I always ask for no onions. I don't need the veggies.
My man.
Don't need them. Cheese, bacon, ham, sausage, hollandaise sauce. Oh yeah, dude. And this thing is it is, especially, dude. They're like, people talk about like good hangover food, and like full transparency, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna say it. It takes me basically only drinking a ton of like vodka to get hungover. Like I don't really, my hangovers are me being tired. Like I don't get like that.
I'm just like you though. I don't get hungover except
I don't really
too much wine, too much tequila. Those will both get me hungover. Anything else, it's I stay up all night being an idiot, and then you try and wake me up at a normal human time, and it's like I need 5 more hours of sleep. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and then but like at the same time, like I'm like, god damn, if I have to get up, I'm like, all right, fuck it. And then once I get started, once I get my day going, if I have like, even if I don't feel like I'm awake, like that's my hangover. Like that's it. But it is after a night of drinking, it is unbelievable.
My only revisions: get rid of ham.
I love ham. I'll be honest with you.
Either add more bacon or add avocado. I like. It doesn't have to be like, I don't like the sliced avocado. I want it to be guacamole, basically. It doesn't have to have all the other mixings in, like literally just
when you add the base layer on the wrap, well, that's the first like layer you smear it on the wrap. You know what I mean?
Yep, then you throw everything else
evenly distributed.
By the way, low key, incredible move. I don't understand why more people don't do it. If I am making a taco, when I'm at home doing tacos or with people doing like a taco thing, the first move is taking the sour cream and spreading it across your tortilla before you put anything on it. Mandatory.
I'm not a sour cream guy.
Fair enough. A purist.
I'm a very plain.
It agrees with your figure.
Human
Makes
being.
sense. Makes sense. But no, there's a place by me, Z, that we will go to that I really like wasn't super familiar with yet when you were here, but it is in our city, and it is basically like a hidden breakfast burrito place, and it's inspired by what's called an LA burrito. And what that means is it's basically got steak and French fries and a bunch of other good stuff. I go with a traditional breakfast burrito, but they have a side option that's not even on the menu that I got by sweet talking the people working. I call it the cheese blanket. But basically, they fry a bunch of cheese and they wrap it around the burrito with jalapenos. Oh my fucking God. Damn near peed myself. And they have some delicious, like verde crema sauces that you put on it and stuff. But it's just like, I basically have sausage, bacon, eggs, hash browns, whatever, with some really good sauces. And it's fucking bomb. But the LA burrito does sound really good. I just can never talk myself into doing that versus a breakfast burrito. It's tough.
Yeah. No, I don't need that. I need a breakfast burrito in my life, and that's about it.
Um,
Here's the
Andrew,
thing.
ranch a million times. Blue cheese can be fired into the sun. Blue cheese is disgusting. And anyone from Buffalo, I'm very sorry. Maybe your blue cheese is good, but in general, blue cheese is disgusting.
I don't use either.
Hey, you're a very plain guy.
I'll throw that out there.
You just drench it in high noon and call it good.
Yeah. No, I just
beer battered fish.
Dip it in.
You high noon batter fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's he doing with the? He said it's beer batter, but that doesn't on the menu it does not say beer batter. Oh my god, he is chewing the top off of the beer and he is dipping it in a Bud Light. He is dipping it. Make him stop doing this.
Bud Light.
I will not stop doing that. Here's the thing though. I know you are not a ham guy.
I'm not.
Real ham.
Oh.
Real ham that's not like shredded. Like it's the actual cut, like
ham or like pork, like pork butt, pork shoulder. Is that what you mean? Or like ham, like a holiday ham, pink, like ham on sandwiches? Like none of that for me. Nope.
Yeah. No, I love it with eggs, dude. I love it.
But pulled pork, great. A good like smoked whatever, like pork shoulder, pork butt, like great. But normal ham, I'm out.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's all right. That's all right. That's okay.
Why settle for the Canadian version of bacon when I can have the American version of bacon?
Yeah, well, fair enough.
That's my take.
I just don't get territorial, you know. But fair enough, dude. But that's all right. God damn it.
Jesus Christ, Cosgrove.
Okay. Here we go.
And here, Isha's got your line.
Yeah, no, we literally just did an hour on
that.
I already did. I was like, fuck it, that's about it. We should, you know. But here we go, talking about ham.
What the fuck is this, Mateo? I'm confused by this comment. It's good, but Thanksgiving
some ham.
Hype. Thanksgiving doesn't have ham. What? Who? We just pause for a second. Who the fuck eats ham on Thanksgiving?
I think he's thinking of Christmas, you know.
Christmas, Easter, that makes sense. If you're eating...
I'm going to let you riff on this. I actually am about to break the seal. I'm going to die.
Mateo, if you eat ham on Thanksgiving, I have many issues with how you choose to live your life. I don't even have a comment. What? Thanksgiving? You had to have meant Easter, maybe Christmas. I'm beside myself. What the... Ham on Thanksgiving? That sounds like something Canada would do. Oh, our Thanksgiving is like a month or two earlier and we have Canadian bacon. No. You have turkey on Thanksgiving because it was the runner-up to be the national bird. And if you lose, doesn't matter. If you're not first, you're last. You end up being the staple of our holiday. We eat you. Should have gotten first. Sorry. And we've lost Z temporarily. He'll probably be back from peeing in a second. But yeah, we're going to wrap this up real quick. Oh, look. Isha even commented, and he's part of American Thanksgiving. This is good. He's disowned Canadian Thanksgiving. Doesn't have Canadian bacon. He has turkey. Welcome to the good half of your heritage, Isha. For people that don't know, Isha's not Canadian. He is actually half Canadian, half American. Big deal. Oh, man, now I have to pee. This is a problem. Hopefully Isha does good editing on this, but he'll probably leave all this in, so that's okay. Oh. Mateo, I hope you're like messing with us right now, that you thought ham on Thanksgiving was normal. I'm going to pretend that you're trolling. Very good troll. If you're being serious, just don't comment anymore. Oh, man. Lethal migraine. with you 1,000,000%. He says, he or she, apologies, they say, me and my siblings don't like ham, so we have turkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas. My family does the same thing. Screw ham, overrated. And Mateo's doubling down, by the way, Z, if I don't know how far your earbuds reach, but he was like, no, I thought that was normal. So I'm a little worried.
I heard the whole thing. Very
concerned. Psychotic behavior.
Listen, I need to know exactly what happens at Canadian Thanksgiving. They
literally sit around and be like, can you imagine how cool it would be if we had American Thanksgiving? That's
not to drop. People always are like, what do you mean they? I'm like, listen, this is when it's okay to say this. I don't feel bad about it at all. What's it all about? Doesn't sound fun. Everyone's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, what'd you do? Like, yeah, we just hung out as a family and we're just talking. I'm like, were there any like fights about politics? And they're like, no. And I'm like, ooh.
That doesn't sound like Thanksgiving at all. Plus, how many football games are there on Canadian Thanksgiving?
0. How many real football games are happening in Canada? How many real football games happen in Canada? 0. That's just not happening. Never has, never will. I don't even fucking like football, but I'll tell you what, I will die on that hill. That's not real football.
Hang on. You don't like it as in you dislike it, or you just like don't go out of your way to watch it?
I'll watch it if I have to. I hate the stop-start. It drives me fucking insane.
It makes it a better casual watch, though. Like, it's a lot easier to, like, indulge in conversation, beverages, food. Like, hockey, it's really hard for me to watch hockey with a group because I don't want to fucking talk to anybody because things are happening the whole time. Like, football is, like, a very big, like, big action, stop. Big action, stop. And in the stops, I can, like, do things. But while the action's on, I can just tune everyone out and watch. I like it.
Yeah, I think I just don't like my good buddies who really care about football. Like, I'm like, man, you guys aren't a fun hang at all. I'm like, I'm gonna stick my internet friends. You guys are fucking annoying as fuck. It's like, oh, you don't watch football? And I say, no, not really. And they're like, oh.
Cosgrove, who argued, here we just call it Thanksgiving because Isha always refers to it as American Thanksgiving. And then Cosgrove also rebuttals after that. In China, they don't call it Chinese food. God fucking damn it. Cosgrove, I love you. I love you so much.
We should probably end it now.
That feels like roughly the appropriate time to be done with this.
It's been about 45 minutes of just nothing.
Z wants to unalive this episode.
Hey, it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
The episode. Just the episode.
That's it. That's all we're talking about.
Oh, man. It's been fun. Z's going to go deal with the cat?
Nope. Actually, she just got home. I'm going to relieve the cat duty.
Well, congrats. I'm happy for you. Go start hanging shit on your wall.
Yeah, no, you don't even know.
Hey,
it's going to look so good.
Hey, Farva. Place the mozzarella sticks and the goofy shit on the wall. Oh, you mean shenanigans? Oh.
Cease. Turn it off. And